you really can't talk about masculinity without talking about patriarchy and power structures and dominance and submission and the way it's used in the West and in the East and Middle East is so interesting because here it's used to manufacture consent for invasion, colonization, wars. And it's so integral to us as individuals in relationships and as nations to how the world works. And this conversation with Rula, today's guest, is so powerful because it provides perspective. It provides a firsthand experience of what that patriarchy and colonization does and the reactionary elements of it. How do we fit into our worlds? How do we embody that masculine energy? How do we allow safety in the feminine energy that we all have in both sides of things? I'm very excited to share this conversation with y'all today because, of course, with how it's going on in the world, Rula is a Palestinian from Jerusalem. She's lived here in Canada for 14 years, and she's a therapist who feels strongly about her past and her history and her homeland and her people and her family and her clients. And I could go on and on and on. So I'll let Rula speak for herself. She's a beautiful woman inside and out. And as always, my name is Tyrone. You can follow me on my new website, hellotyrone.ca. It has all my links there. So thank you for listening and enjoy. Hi, Rula.
Hi, Tyrone.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for so much for giving me this time, giving the listeners your time, and sharing, being willing to share your story and have this conversation because it's so cool. I think the way that we met, I mean, you just reached out to me on Instagram, and then we started
Hmm.
talking almost immediately. So,
Yes.
um, yeah. So thank you very much. Is
Oh,
what I
thank
gotta
you.
say.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll just get right into things. The first question is, what is your definition of masculinity?
Oh, the big question.
Right away. We love it. I love that you haven't watched any of the episodes, so you didn't know it was coming.
That's funny because that's a conversation I have with my girlfriends often and with my guy friends.
Okay.
Last week, I actually was talking to a friend and she's dating and I said, "What kind of man do you want?" She said, "A man." And I understood what she meant without her having to explain.
Okay.
Um, Masculinity is uh, the rock that you can lean on when you need to.
Okay.
Um, that is what I see the masculine energy for from a feminine point of view. It's
Okay.
that support.
Hmm.
That does not mean you are powerless. It just means that you can trust it so much
Yeah.
that it'll be there for you.
Yeah. So reliability almost
Yeah.
is kind of a word
And
that came to
I
mind.
and I don't know if that puts a lot of pressure from a masculine point of view on the man. I don't know. To always
I,
be there and be reliable. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I mean, if I think about just being reliable, it's like, okay, I'm going to do at least the willingness to try and be there, right? Like you don't have to succeed in fixing the problem, but if you get asked, you're at least there and take on the responsibility of being there. Is that,
Just listening sometimes, that's enough.
yeah,
Just being the crying shoulder.
yeah,
Being able to provide the safe space for her energy,
Yeah.
being, no matter how big she gets, you have to always be just a little bit bigger
Okay.
to keep her like feeling safe.
Okay.
And
So
that's
I guess
from a woman's point of view.
okay. So I guess I have a question to counter that. Like, so at what point does the man have to take care of his own energy first to maintain that, right? Like
100%.
if the woman needs something or not, yeah, needs something or needs that shoulder, or is looking for that support and looking for that rock, as you put it. If that rock is cracking, to continue that analogy, how
Mhm.
is it masculine to protect that rock and make sure that rock can stay solid before,
100%.
right?
Of course. He has to take care of himself all the time, and she has to take care of him. It's not that he has to be there in that spectrum, at the end of that spectrum all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, he can come to that spectrum side of the spectrum anytime he wants. And with that sense of safety, they can balance each other out to go back to their places.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm making sense.
I know
He
it does
is
make sense.
always welcome in the feminine energy.
Yeah.
And as much as she would be welcomed in the masculine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot of feminists are gonna hate me after this podcast.
Well, I mean, that's a whole. We can get into the feminist
Oh,
talk too if you want, but
listen,
no.
like I feel there's a lot of pressure on the man to be a certain way, and I feel bad.
Okay.
Okay, and he can be whatever he wants, and if you think when he feels safe,
Mm-hmm.
he gets that strength to be that rock that the girl needs or the woman needs.
Okay.
Okay, like he needs to feel safe and taken care of as well.
Right. Okay. And so when does that form of masculinity, we're talking about that kind of reliability and the safety there. So when does that become, yeah, when does that become toxic and negative? Like it can't, is it possible for that to become overbearing? Like what point does that get reached?
The problem is that each is so subjective,
Yeah.
right? Like, and you know what? Even maybe by the end of this podcast, like something like you will change my mind, or like something I'm gonna learn something from this because I'm brainstorming. Really, like I'm just figuring it out with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, it can get toxic. Both can get toxic. Both energies can get toxic if not being balanced, if not communicative, if not vulnerable, if not honest,
Yeah.
if carrying traumas from the past, if they're not feeling safe, they both can be. So I think it has to do with the individual's um, emotional intelligence and awareness of themselves and the person they are with.
Mm-hmm.
So, from one point of view, one woman can want a certain kind of masculinity that does not work for another woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're talking about the spectrums, like we're talking about cisgender heterosexual relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that's what
Well,
I'm,
I mean that energy can be present in any
that's the
relationship,
only
right?
one like I am familiar with, and,
Yeah.
so any a woman can, yeah, what could work for one does not have to work for the other.
Yeah.
There's someone that is more needy or more feminine than the other, as long as they're balanced out. So like if she's here and he's all the way there,
Yeah.
there's going to be a huge difference. If they're both like the distance between one and the other has to be balanced,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So that's why, like, one person, it doesn't mean that there is one kind of masculinity I think that is worse or bad and one is good. It's just how you have to find the right fit for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's interesting that because there is a lot of rhetoric right now that there is like toxic masculinity or whatever, and I don't, I almost don't think that like the toxic forms of masculinity are masculinity itself. I think that
Yeah.
is
Just toxicity.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
power, like overuse of power and control and strength for negative reasons, and there's nothing masculine about that, right?
100%. I totally agree with you.
That comes from a place of fear and kind of like cowardice and yeah, the need for control is kind of what really comes to mind for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like no one should want to control the other in any kind of relationship.
Hmm.
And the job, I think, is to create the ecosystem for the person to grow. Like if you are thinking about how am I going to create the ecosystem for my partner to be what they want to be and provide them with that, and they do the same, then all is good.
Yeah, if you agree and you're both happy with it and can come together and can both have the space to grow, then that's ideal. That sounds ideal, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where does that come from? That belief or the that view and that perspective? Is that something you learned or discovered or experienced, or is it
Yeah.
from a young age, or what do you think?
Culture plays a big role in this, I think.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think I'm not sure if I had the same view about masculinity my whole life.
Okay.
But I'm definitely much more concrete about what I think right now than I did before.
Hmm.
Um, I always believe that both have to be reliable, huh? Both have to be, but there's this sense of, okay, there's a problem. Some people like they use the word, for example, submission or submissive, being submissive.
Sure.
And it's viewed in a very toxic and very, um, very negative lens.
Hmm. Weakness.
Yeah. You, when you submit, that doesn't mean that you're weak, and it
Hmm.
doesn't have to be negative. It means it can mean that you trust the person that you are with so much that you're allowing them to drive
Yeah.
or to make a decision on certain things, or you see where you are strong in some areas and they are strong in other areas. um, so recently, with I feel like it's too negative the way that masculinity is viewed. It's too negative what feminism is viewed. If everything is just like being two polar opposites, everything is being two ends of the spectrums, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, culture plays a big role. um, I forgot the
We can talk.
question.
We let's talk culture. I think obviously there was incentive for me to bring you on with everything going on in the world as a Palestinian and somebody
Yeah.
who has experienced it firsthand. The that life, and I guess just to preface, it's like what, and you know this, but for our listeners, like we have a in the West, we have a very vilified perspective of
Mhm.
culture in the East in general, Middle East. I don't like the term Middle East, but because it's not, but whatever. we,
To what?
we won't get into that. But yeah, for lack of a better term, the Middle East, and how that plays out. And I mean, even just a few months ago when um, the U.S. was in a brief war with Iran, and talking about that and the reasoning for it in terms of the control that the government plays on um, LGBTQ rights and women's rights and things like that. So, like, what
Mhm.
is your experience? Because you've
Mhm.
been here for 12 years, I think you said, in Canada.
14, I think
14 years,
now.
sorry.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, so you've been here quite a while now. So you did leave and experience some of it. So what is it like over there? Like, straight from your mouth, is do you have freedom? Do you have, let's clear the air, right?
All right, cool. So I will tell you what I saw growing up.
Okay.
Okay.
Give some ages too, so that we know how long ago it was. Not to
Let's
age yourself though, I
give
guess.
it up.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So I remember very feminine figures in my life who are I was introduced to as men when I was younger in the neighborhood, family, and I knew like there is something of oh like what is that like I didn't quite grasp it. For example, a very famous hairdresser in my area in Jerusalem. And he was so loved and adored and accepted by the community. And he had actually a videotape of him belly dancing. And everybody saw it, everybody enjoyed it, and like talked about it, and everybody would compliment him. Um, Another character I remember, someone that was introduced to me as a female and had a female name but had a very masculine male voice and dress and everything, like did the opposite gender,
Hmm.
and was also and had two names actually in the community.
Yeah.
People would call them that name and others would call them the other name, and also loved and celebrated and taken care of by everyone.
Yeah.
So when I came here and I hear people saying in the Middle East, you cannot be gay or you cannot be trans or you can be, and you're actually not shunned from the community and you're taken care of. And maybe it's not open in the way like you don't brag about, but that's everywhere. Like you don't go, the sexual acts or intimate acts are not for the public.
Hmm.
But you can be who you are in the streets.
Hmm.
And that was something that when I came here and uh, I'd hear people talking about diversity and inclusion and all these new terms for the Western world. By the way, we
Hmm.
lived in diversity and inclusions for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So when someone comes to me and says, "Oh, you don't have that," I'm like, "No, we had it
Yeah.
long before. Read our poetry.
Yeah.
Read our poetry, read our history. I'll give you some poems like from 1,000 years ago, and how where they're talking about homosexual relationships and love, and it's not something new. And people being from different religions and different backgrounds and different colors, and we did not have that until colonization happened and other things
Yeah.
started.
Oh,
Like
that's interesting that it came after colonization.
yeah, like back in uh, when Britain colonized Egypt.
Hmm.
Egypt was like a very booming place, right? And then when the British came and they started giving certain jobs to certain groups of people, Christians, for example, uh, um, people from certain like a divide and conquer kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then the farmers started getting angry that why am I not getting these kinds of jobs? Why don't I get that kind of education? And then the movement started of when they started hating on anything that is white and anything that is English and anything that is not Arab and nothing that is not uh, Islamic.
Yeah.
So people started holding on to their roots because they felt that things are getting taken away from them. And that is what started actually the Islamic movements back then, like from the
Right.
start,
Right.
before, like in the 50s.
Yeah. The reactionary movement. Right.
Yeah.
And then that just gets pushed so far, and then you get, yeah.
Yeah, because before that, like women, before that, women would not cover. They did not have to cover their hair,
Hmm.
and they would dress whatever they want, and they had like it was like very modern. And now Islamists are going to be mad at me.
Yeah. That.
I'm
Yeah.
going to
Then
piss
you get.
everyone off today.
Oh no! This is. I think this is great. This is good conversation, right? Like these are the things that people don't know, that we just get so much propaganda. We get so much. We're told exactly what to think. Where the news flows in certain ways, and then we just develop these perspectives that are not shaped by the full picture. Um,
Yeah,
so I think, like, understanding that there was this freedom there was this equality, there was this respect for everybody, and then seeing like, oh, okay, well, then we get this colonization aspect with the British, or whomever, and then you get this reactionary, extremist right wing, fundamentalist views that rise to power as a reaction to the colonization.
yeah,
And then those come into power, and then you get the restrictions, right? And
100%.
even relating that to like Western world, it's like, okay, well, what do we have now? We've got these like, we do have extremist right wing religious fundamentalists for Christianity, Catholicism, that are rising up in America. Canada has it too,
Mhm.
like all over the place, all of these Western countries. But we don't see it as the same for some reason when women's rights in the US get like
Violated.
torn to shreds and violated, right? All of a sudden
Mhm.
it's not, we don't equate it, but yeah, it's absolutely the same thing. So I mean, thank you for sharing that for sure.
Thank you.
um so what is your, to bring that kind of back to kind of like the masculinity aspect,
Mhm.
like did you experience any, like, I guess, harmful masculinity over there? Is it the same as here, or what is that like?
I think that toxicity in general, yeah, it's universal.
Okay.
It's like when it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
Um, of course, some cultures are more tolerant of some bad behaviors than others, or it's seen as okay. So back home, like in the Middle East, you could see sometimes women being more patriarchal than men.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard things from my mom that I would never hear my dad saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Funny enough, like it happened yesterday. Something she said, she mentioned something, and I'm like, wow. Like as long as we have women saying this, mom, like really, stop.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's yeah, like oh, a woman has to tolerate a lot of things
Hmm.
because she's the woman. Oh, because a woman is naturally caring. No, there's a lot of men who are more naturally caring than women in other aspects. Like like when we
Hmm.
talk about kids and stuff. Uh, a man is allowed to be angry. A man is allowed to be this and that. But then there is a negative connotation when a woman does the same act or says the same thing.
Yeah.
Like a man can be strong and have like a very strong character if he speaks up, but if a woman says something, oh, she is like unhinged.
Yeah.
But that is also universal, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That comes, and that's like Bell. What book was it? The Will to Change by Bell Hooks.
Mhm.
It's incredible. It's all about patriarchy and all about masculinity and what are we doing. And it's like looking at all the stats, like patriarchy and that power structure exists worldwide, like absolutely everywhere, in terms of the woman is submissive, to use the term you used, and the man is allowed to be angry, and that's just kind of the roles that they play. But we just further see that kind of broken down, and when we get perspectives from everywhere, it's like, okay, well, if this is widespread, then maybe it needs to change, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And but there's like the misconception about like women being what's the word they use? Abused? Or like they
Yeah.
need freedom, they need no, women have a lot of freedom. They have. It's just this is the problem with the Western world is that they want to transfer everything they have to everywhere else.
Yeah.
It doesn't work everywhere. It works for you. It doesn't have to work for me.
Hmm.
My sister, I have one sister. We're five sisters, by the way.
Okay.
Actually, you're gonna love this.
Okay.
Listen to this. We're eight siblings,
Okay.
five girls and three boys.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's a
If
big
you look
family.
at yes, well, Palestinians, we have to.
You need the numbers.
Yeah. So if you look at my family, you'll see that the eight of us have completely different characters, completely different views, completely different end of the spectrums on religion, on how we dress, on what we do. Okay.
Hmm.
There was nothing indoctrinated. And my family is just like any family in
Hmm.
Palestine. You don't have to wear the hijab if you do not want to. If you're a Muslim family, that is, there's a lot of Christian families. You don't have to, which is also another thing that bugs me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will-
To make that point, so everybody knows what it is, there are a lot of Christian families in Palestine, and
Yeah,
it's
well,
not all.
the original Christians are from Palestine, so let's
Exactly.
just
Yeah, let's be
the
real
land
here.
of
Yeah,
Christianity.
yeah,
Yeah, so my family is a Muslim family.
yeah. Hmm.
Um, some of my sisters chose to wear the hijab, some of them did not. Some of them pray, some of them don't. Some of them
Hmm.
fast, some of them don't. So are my brothers. Everyone is different, and nothing was indoctrinated. Nothing was. You have to. I have one sister who chose to be religious. Okay, she was 16. She decided to cover her hair. Um, she took everything by the book, and that was that example of my sister going against actually my parents to wear the hijab so young and
Hmm.
to run her life the way she wanted, not listening to music, not engaging in certain activities and outings and parties and so on and so forth. That for me is feminism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she's so tough. Like when she wants to go like do her something with her kids or take them somewhere, let's say like a religious activity, and her husband, oh, like I'm worried about you because we're in Jerusalem and like I don't want you to go, and she still goes. That's feminism. So it's
Hmm.
not just about taking off the veil,
Hmm.
it's about much more than that.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, okay. No, no, that's amazing. And that's so perfect, right? Like the exactly the way you put it. That is feminism. The ability to do what you want. If you want to live by some of these rules that would be considered oppressive in some ways, like
Yes.
it's your ability to choose, right? It's
Yeah,
that
100%.
is the freedom that real feminism, traditional feminism, the original feminism fights for, as opposed to kind of the what it became at some point. I think it's kind of transitioning out of it now in terms of just everything is bad on the man side, right? Like as opposed to the original, hey, we as women want to be free to choose.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
yeah.
And her husband would not dare to argue with her, like in some certain. And he is not the one, like he's not religious, and she actually chose that. Like she's like they're doing their own thing. She's religious, he's less religious. She doesn't listen to music. He plays oud. So like I love that dynamic.
Hmm.
It's so different. Like and they're accepting of each other, and you know.
Yeah, yeah. So there's just a lot of space to be original and unique and not yeah, it's just it's so crazy to hear like the firsthand experience, because it's like if you don't, like all that we're taught here is just like over there, like hijabs, religion, like you don't have freedom over there, right? As women or like the LGBTQ community.
Yeah,
Um,
this is what they want the whole world to know, to think. Now, of course, there are communities who are like would like shun their kids out if they come out or if they find out. Of course, I'm not saying it's all handy dandy
widespread.
and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, of course not. But when they say like, oh, Islam is this, all religions by the book. If you want to look at which I don't believe is anyway. I don't want to get into the religion. That's like another thing.
but no, we'll save it for another one, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, but like, oh, Islam does not. Yeah, really? Did you read your Bible?
Mhm.
Like, all religions said certain things, like
Yeah,
the institutionalized religions.
yeah,
So, but it's as you said, like the finger pointing is always at the Middle East. Like you're this
yeah,
and
yeah. Well, and even what you said about like shunning and that, like that exists here. Like even I'm
100%.
being in Alberta right now, it's like they're requiring girls in school age girls to sign a form with their parents that proves their girls like have female genitalia, and it's like to,
Wow.
to prevent boys from playing in girl sports. And
Wow.
so there's just like crazy laws here that are being like so harmful. um but then yeah, like you said, it's finger pointing, like what's going on over there, everything over there is bad. It's like no,
Yeah, yeah,
everything here,
and that's the
it's just
third.
bad everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Each area, each place has its own dynamics, and just because something works in one area does not in one place in the world, based on the context and the resources of its time, does not
Yeah,
have to work somewhere else. And feminism actually, like if we're gonna talk about it a little bit, like started in Iran in the 1800s before feminism was a thing in the Western world.
yeah,
In the 20s and 30s, women from the Middle East used to study in universities in the US when women in the US were not allowed to study in universities.
wow,
And I know people like my friends' parents and uncles and aunties, like they studied in the US during that time.
yeah.
So
So what are we doing here?
and I know it's so unfortunate. It's just like, but yeah, this is the point of these podcasts, I think, and I'm thankful for is that it gives a voice to for people to share.
Yeah, yeah, and I think um yeah, I think it's super important. It's funny how like I try and keep these somewhat masculinity related, but they're
Yes,
so
yes.
no, but it's so
Sorry, I'm like going
interesting.
all over the space. My ADHD mind is not helping either.
But the masculinity is so it's tied into everything, right? Because we've got this kind of like power dynamic and patriarchal structure, and that just exists, and it's so ingrained in so many different places. But then we idolize kind of the Western world's version of it and say like, oh, we are on the forefront of change, and we are on the forefront of this, when a lot of times we are the cause of the regression of it in a lot of other places. So yeah, no, I think it's super important, and I'm glad we're talking about it.
Can I tell you even a little bit something? What I don't know. We'll talk like we can talk about it. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, bring it up. Let's go.
Okay. Um, I think the culture here is actually emasculating men, and I don't think women like it.
Okay, elaborate. What do you mean? What part of the culture and emasculating men in
It's
what
this
ways?
like too much. It's too much sameness. Too much. It's not balanced anymore.
Okay.
Like I think it's messing up with people's heads. Like on what version of themselves they can be, like men having to question what kind of masculine. Why does it have to be a question? Why does it have to be so Why does it have to be like this?
Mm-hmm. Um, I think it's kind of an evolution. Like there's been rhetoric and like messaging about like why masculinity being under attack, right? And that is true in certain ways. Like it is under pressure, but I think it's under pressure to change. And I think that the change is okay. I think that the pressure to choose is where that problem comes from and that confusion, right? Like if you have to like you mentioned before, it becomes kind of so polarized, right? And if you have to choose, well, okay, well, I'm on the left side of masculinity where we are okay with our feelings and we don't just experience rage and we may take a more submissive role or any other side that might be considered softer masculinity, we'll call it. Um, Versus the right side where it's control and tradition and nuclear family and more of a dominant role and more of a power structure and that kind of things, and all of a sudden I have to choose one or the other. Well, yeah, okay, well, what do I want to be? What's if I choose one and I'm wrong, well, then I have to vilify the other side so that it's not wrong, and it creates this like massive divide where, as opposed to, like you said, like, why do we have to choose? Like, why can we not just be? Why can we not just exist? And why cannot we, if I see somebody acting in a certain way, and as long as they're a good person and respectable and responsible, then sure, go ahead, right? But either side of things can have that um dangerous and toxic side, like even on the left side where we're vilifying that stuff, and while it may cause harm, we can also cause harm on the soft side. What do you
I
think?
agree. But I mean, like this, the right end of the spectrum is just a person who's not, I don't want to say raised well. It should not be something about masculinity. Like it should not be okay to control anybody or to want to hurt anyone,
Correct.
regardless.
Correct.
So wanting to take care of your household, if that makes you right, or when wanting to serve, like for example, in Arabic we say the man is the servant of the family. It's not that he is in control and he gets to tell people what to do. He's actually serving his wife and his daughters and his. So I think the translation of things, like the meaning making, is also different. Like when you translate things from Arabic to English, oh, like he is in control. But when you say things in Arabic, things are different.
Mm-hmm.
It lands differently.
Mm-hmm.
He is responsible. There's a lot of pressure on him. It's not that he is just going around and yelling at everyone and being angry
Mm-hmm.
um, and he can also be soft at the same time.
Yeah.
My father is the I've seen my father cry more than I have cried myself probably, like, and he's and but at the same time he's the head of the family, and at the same time we know that my mom is the neck of that family.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can move, but she's the neck, like she's.
They can't exist without each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's I just when I said emasculating, or I've seen a lot of men being confused about should they open the door for a woman or not,
Yeah.
if they should take the pill or not, if they feel confused because of all these rules and things that are um, women being offended for certain things. Or I think it doesn't have to be this way. It should not be this way. I don't know.
Yeah, I think kind of what I'm hearing is like we're placing the concept of masculinity and the rules around like what's permissible onto things that aren't necessarily related to it, right? Like it's like specifically with paying for the meal. You go on a first date, I'm going to pay for the meal. It's like and it's not a sense of, hey, you are leeching off me for a meal. It's not a sense of, oh, I want you to owe me something. It's not a sense of,
Mhm.
I am obligated to do so. It's like, I'm paying for the meal, or opening the, or yeah, we'll stick with that. I'm paying for the meal because you said yes to this date, and I want to show my appreciation for it. It has nothing to do with masculinity for me,
And
right?
from
It's
the
like,
other side,
yeah,
actually, also for many women, and that if she allows him to pay for the meal, I'm honoring you by paying for this meal.
mm,
That
mm-hmm,
means you're in. That means you're allowed. That means you can see me again.
oh, okay.
You know, therefore,
Mhm.
it's
I'll let. It's
at
like
least that's the Middle
I'll let
Eastern
you take the lead.
way. Yeah. This is the thing. I think the polarity of feminine and masculine can solve a lot of problems, a lot of questions,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, for example, he paid for the meal. There are things that the feminine energy can do that the masculine energy cannot do, and then by sharing and giving from that place of polarity,
Yeah.
you create a balance. You
Okay.
did this, I can do that.
Yeah.
You cannot do this, I can do that. There are things. Do you get me?
Yeah. No, I understand. I This is the first time I've had somebody that we're like working through something together, and it's really
Yeah.
cool. I think I understand how the more firm definitions, we'll call them, to some of the roles, like their gender roles in a sense, that are tied to the energies, the masculine and feminine energy. So I see how those make things clear, and when they start to dissolve, it makes things questionable, right? And then it causes problems. What's right? What's wrong? Who should do what? Who should do? But I think
It
that
becomes exhausting, I think, for both at some point.
I do. Yeah, but I don't think that a regression to the roles is the answer, because there's always going to be people that break them
Yes,
and want and do not, like, as some, maybe like for a very strong woman, she comes in, she wants to pay for her own meal. That's just how she holds herself. Like, that's fine, right? And if that
100%.
throws the man for a loop, then we're still going to get situations like that. So I think we need to detach the energies from a lot of the actions and let people choose from themselves, right? It's like, if we see that, if the woman paid for the meal on the first date, there's going to be a bunch of guys that are like, no way, you should have paid. But it's like, we need to get rid of that thing. We need to say, okay, well, like, why are we judging this person's unique experience? Well, if that worked for them, that's great, right?
Yes, yes. And this goes back to the first, we can exist, males and females and whatever, on the spectrum, anywhere on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere on the spectrum is allowed.
Right.
Okay? For being feminine, being masculine, whatever, as long as the other person that you're with
Mm-hmm.
is equally on the other spectrum on the other side.
Yeah.
If it works for you, it works for you. There's no rules.
Yeah.
Just to make things clear for people who are listening, because I think this is going to be very, very confusing. I
No,
wonder,
and that's
many comments
that's a
and
good.
comments and oh my gosh, what?
No, and that's great messaging, and it's something I kind of live by. Is like, there are existentially, right? Like, we talk about Yalom and that kind of thing. It's like, there are really no rules to what's happening in the universe. Like, we have created all of these rules in society, and we live a certain way, and history has done this one thing, and we've come to these realizations or understandings based on what we know, what we experience. But when it comes down to it, in the scope of the universe, well, like, there's no rules. There's animals that change genders. There's animals that are intersex. They're like, so
Yes.
it's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I do see a lot of movement recently towards taking sides, or to go to the other, like the polar opposite. From
yeah,
conversations with men and women, is that no, I want to be on my side, do
yeah,
your thing, and I do my thing, and because it's just comfortable there.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's it.
I've heard it from many people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. The comfortability of like we know that there's definitions that exist, and whether they're right or wrong, we know we've been in them before. They're comfortable, and this middle ground where we have to discuss and we have to accept basically anything. It's very hard to live in that kind of unknown area.
Yeah. And sometimes you also have to sit with yourself and ask, why do you refuse something? Or why do you want to be a certain way? Where is that
Yeah,
coming from? Like
yeah,
if I am so what's the word? Hyper independent.
sure.
Why? Why am I not able to trust? Why am I not able to let anyone do something for me? Why? It's sometimes these behaviors or these things, they come from a place of pain or a certain experience that we did not experience safety,
Hmm.
whether it's masculine or feminine. So knowing it, knowing ourselves truly and consciously can answer a lot of these questions for us, and we might like be in one end of the spectrum one day and then realize something else,
Yeah,
that "Oh, I want to be in this place, feel safe." I think it all boils down to, honestly, to being safe with the person that you choose.
yeah. Or even, but it doesn't even have to be in the context of a partnership either,
Oh,
right? Like
100%. Yeah, yeah,
just the environment that you're in. Like, are you
yeah.
allowed to be who you believe is yourself, right?
Hmm.
And uh, okay, so I think that's a good place to kind of transition because we had briefly spoke about this on our little chat, but like, how do you what messaging do you give to your clients as a therapist in terms of that, and how do you embody that yourself? Because we talked about you're wearing your bracelet today, your Palestine bracelet colors on there. Do you how do you hold that space? How do you stay responsible? How do you hold that masculine energy for who you are in your therapy practice?
uh, I'm very honest and authentic with myself and how I represent myself.
Hmm.
uh, I am proud Palestinian. um, this is who I am. If you do not want to be with a therapist who is Palestinian, that's absolutely your right. Like with my, like, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, this has, like, I'm not pushing anything on anybody. This is who I am. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
change or dilute myself for anyone.
Hmm.
And I find actually my identity extremely important, especially at this time, because a lot of people need that.
Yeah.
You know, they need to feel free. For example, I have a friend who's an ally, a Canadian, who has been extremely affected by what's happening over the past 2 years. And he had his therapist for 4 years. And he said he did not feel safe enough to open up about his struggles over the past 2 years because he thought his therapist is not, that would not condone his feelings, or like would not validate his feelings,
Hmm.
because they might not be politically on the same side as he is,
Hmm.
right? So, and that is like a big red flag. Like if you have a therapist that you cannot feel free with, to, and they would be judging you,
Hmm.
for your feelings or thoughts or beliefs, then you're a bad therapist, to say the least.
Yeah.
No one should
Yeah.
be judged, and
Yeah. I
therapists
think
should.
that's the whole point, right? Of good therapy is to come and have a space where you can
Yeah,
not be judged, right?
yeah. And so if someone wants to ask me, if someone wants to talk to me, like I never shut anyone out for not being like if they are not, like politically different than me or they have their own views. I always my door is open for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if
Cool.
that answers your question.
No, yeah, I think it does. You hold that space for who you are in the therapy practice, and I think that like we had a little talk about it, just kind of traditional Western, not traditional, but Western psychology, and how that blank slate style where there's a
Yeah.
power structure, a patriarchal structure to it, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, Um, when really therapy has been happening for thousands of years in different ways, yoga and meditation and all of that, and a lot of it is relational and emotional and real connectedness with somebody,
Yeah.
um, which
Um,
hopefully we can bring back.
yeah. Like I cannot not like force myself not to be moved or not. I cry with my clients almost all the time.
Hmm.
It is like it's in. I cannot like I try to stop myself or like just listen to them like there's someone who's pouring their heart or like talking about their like most painful experiences, and you're not allowed to offer them if you can if they want to hold your hand
Hmm.
or just be like a wall with a. There are times when I sat on the wall on the floor with my clients on the same couch if they needed more closeness, grab a blanket and a cup of tea and just tell me, like I really dislike many of the rules. Um, it's healing. It's supposed to be healing. How are you going
Yeah.
to heal someone that you're not feeling?
Yeah. 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 When somebody is going through something like that and experiencing it, and you as a practitioner are supposed to be disconnected, not fully connected, right? Like you're watching, you're listening, and blah blah blah. That's not that isn't that diminishes what the healing and therapy can be. And to provide the real full healing, I think it needs emotional reaction and emotional presence, right? And it's not to say you are crying your eyes out
Mm,
and going through something on your own now all of a sudden, because obviously that detracts from what it is. The focus is still on the client, but to 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 experience firsthand what they are going through and really connect to it, you are going to have a reaction, and I think that's beautiful at the same time.
I really think if you don't have a reaction, that means the client has to feel safe and has to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
If they cannot trust that you're feeling with them, how is it supposed to heal them? How? Because this is what it like sometimes like especially in trauma. What really as Gabor Mate says, like trauma happens when the incident happens in a place where there is no safety and trust, and you can resolve it if it's experienced again or spoken in a place where there is safety and trust.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not providing that space for your client, there's no point of view. So yeah, that's at least how I see it. And if
I
you
love it.
if you can't, this is you have the right to redirect the client if you see that you're not the right fit for them. If it's going to
Yeah.
trigger something in you, if you're not going to be the best person for them, redirect them. You don't have to. You don't have to see them. They deserve to be validated and seen and feel safe and
Yeah, and receive good therapy in a real human therapeutic relationship, right? A
yes.
good relationship.
Yeah. Funny thing, I'm remembering now that when you said, how do you hold this masculine energy of reliability? It's like, oh, did I just make it sound like female energy is not reliable, or because that's we're
No,
circling
that's
back
not.
all the because that's what I said in the start. But I remember reading something the other day. Is it called the animus? Correct me if I'm wrong.
uh,
And I forgot who's what theory it is and who's the actually the psychologist.
I'm not
Uh,
sure.
it's basically Jung, in the Jungian theory,
Okay.
the anima and animus. It's basically the masculine and feminine the archetypes,
Yeah.
the union of opposing forces.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So the anima is the unconscious female part of the conscious male psyche, and the animus is the unconscious male part of the conscious female psyche. So
Okay.
when the girl, when a female is in her masculine energy, she's in her animus,
Hmm.
okay, and she resorts to that to feel safe, to protect herself, based on her experience.
Yeah.
And when I learned that, I reflected on my time in university. I always like my friends were always guys. Like I always got along with males more than females. And I thought,
Hmm.
oh, I have masculine energy. That's why like I like to joke around. I'm loud and you know. So and I used to before I learned that I was when I would describe myself to people and how my time in university and how I carry myself right now even amongst males is
Yeah.
that um, I resort to masculine side of me to protect myself because I don't want to be seen as feminine. I don't want to be seen like it's a safety. It's a
Yeah.
like it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Like if I cover it up, if I mask it,
Yeah.
they're not gonna see me as uh, a female and then have thoughts about me or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so and I always thought that this was like my nature until I was reading that. It's not my nature, it's something that, and then I realized that when I'm not in that energy, everything about me changes. Like your voice changes, there's a different character.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of women would um, uh, understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That and yeah, that it makes sense. I'm even thinking about some of the people in my lives and how they integrate into I don't know male circles, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of a presentation.
yeah,
Thing that I think.
I was talking to a friend about this last week, and he was talking about his mother as a single mom, and he said, "My whole life, I don't think I've ever seen my mom in her feminine energy. She
Oh.
was a masculine figure for me, and I
Hmm.
learned how to be a man from her."
Interesting.
And he said, like, even my anger, my road rage, my like, these are things I learned from her because my father was absent and
Yeah.
she was the male figure in the family.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was ever safe enough to feel her feminine energy
Hmm.
because you have to mask it because otherwise it's a scary world out there.
Yeah. It gets taken advantage of.
Yeah.
right? A lot in many cases. Hmm.
So yeah, I just wanted to, I thought you would like that.
Yeah, uh, yeah, I do like that. Um, and it's not that the feminine energy is weak or anything
Yeah,
like that. It's that it's perceived by a lot of people as weak. So you have to cover it up in certain ways to function in this world, in society, right?
exactly. Actually, like, I don't know, I think it was Plato who said, once made equal to man, a woman becomes his superior. I don't want to upset any males out there. But that's Plato, you can take it out with them, not me. But yeah, nothing about female energy or feminine energy is weak.
Right.
No, it's different.
It takes strength, to be
And I
honest.
think the most powerful thing when you are actually able to be it and manifest it and be in it and not be scared.
Yeah.
I think it would be like a very beautiful thing. Whoever you are, whatever you are, like not, I'm not talking about a female, like what,
Yeah, it's on both sides, right? We
yeah,
all have it.
yeah,
Mhm. Cool. Okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I think
yeah.
that was beautiful. It was a great conversation. What we usually ended off with a message. Do you have a message for anybody? Anybody that's listening? Something that you've learned, something that you know, something that you believe, a hope for the future.
I think I've learned a lot from this hour. Like
Okay.
it's really literally like a brainstorming session.
Hmm.
um, I would say, please be true to yourself, whoever you are, whatever you are. I hope that you feel safety within yourself. I hope you trust yourself. And because this is the start, this is where you shine. The more authentic you are, the more genuine you are, then this is the closest version to yourself. And this is how people will love you. This is how the right people will be around you. So be that, be true to who you are. And yeah, I hope we all live in a better world where we all can be who we are
Hmm.
freely.
Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much, Rula.
Thank you. Appreciate it.